Hello, hello. This is Nina Urjavik, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the U.S. And this is day 3 of my creative journey through the catalog. And what that means is that I am taking the catalog and I am casing, which means copy and share everything, or copy and selectively edit the samples in the catalog. So today I am going to go to page 40. And we are going to go to the Florals and Blooms suite. We are going to case this card here, and we are going to case this card down here. I don't know if I was out of right here. So these two cards are what we're going to case. And I think I'm going to do them pretty much exactly the way they are in the catalog. So they are on page 41, and this is the lovely suite. It is a mega suite, which means there are 2 stamp sets and 2 dies that coordinate with each other. It does have some embellishments and some beautiful designer series paper where you can cut out the flowers. And some of them are cut out with the, I'm not sure if you can cut the dies out, cut the flowers out with the dies, but I do believe you can. Matter of fact, you can. These 3 here can be cut out. So anyway, we are going to go through, or you can fussy cut them. That means just your good old paper snips and cut them out, right? And then here are some more samples here. It actually shows you where these, where the artist has actually watercolored the flowers and then duplicated them into designer series paper. And then here are some more lovely samples. It's the same card that we're doing, but in different colors. And this also showcases the designer series paper that has designs on both sides. Here is a 3D home decor element. Okay, so let's get started with this one. Okay, so I may do this in 2 videos just so I can keep it short and hopefully post it to FB. But I will be posting a link. If it doesn't take, I will post it to FB, a link to take you to my YT YouTube channel to watch it there. Okay, so let's get started. Enough talking. All right, so we have here Tempting Tiger, or Timid Tiger, not Tempting Tiger. Timid Tiger. We have the DSP, the floral. Let's see, this is Florals and Bloom. And then we have this on the other side here. And then we're going to use the Garden Green ink pad. We're going to use some Stampin Dimensionals, some multi-purpose glue, and the Stampin Seal, which is this here, and also the dies. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, move some of this out of our way, we are going to score this at 1 inch. So I'm going to bring in my Simply Score tool, and I am going to score it at 1 inch. So that would be, let's see, let's do it this way and go 1 inch here. And I just did it upside down so that I can go this way. So you would have, it's 4 1/4 piece of paper, okay? So it would have been 3 1/4 if you wanted to do it this way, or I just turned it and went 1 inch. So I love the Simply Score tool. I use it all the time. So we're going to just fold that over there so you can see both sides of the beautiful paper. And I am just going to glue this down with my Stampin Seal. Okay, so we did that there. And then we are going to add it to our card front. I'm just going to go ahead and use Stampin Seal. You can use whatever adhesive you'd like. You could use the Tombow multi-purpose glue, or you can use your glue dots. You can use whatever is good for you. And then I am just going to put this here. Now, if you get a little extra over the edge, it is okay, because you can always just trim it off here. Okay. And then, let's bring the stamp set in. We will need this one here. It says Hello Lovely. So we're going to need this one here and this one here. So this die here does the outline. So I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to show you what I did. I've already cut those out. So here is the Lovely, and what I did so that I didn't have to put glue on the back here, I did run my paper through the I didn't run it through. I will once I do this. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, so let me take a breath and back up. I tend to talk really fast, so I am sorry. This is the double stick tape. It is called the Adhesive Sheets. And I tell you what, this is a lifesaver for all of these delicate pieces right here that to get glue on the back of here would be a nightmare. So you take this sticky sheet, it's sticky on both sides, you peel off part of it, right, and you stick it to your cardstock. Move some of this out of the way, okay, and then I'm just going to peel this other one off. I usually do, it's 6 inches by 12 inches, so I usually do this, and then I just put it, put the pieces, the extra pieces in a file, so that I can use them later. And I typically use these things that my dies come in. Okay, so your dies come in these. They do not come on magnet sheets. I buy these from Stampin Storage. I do earn a little commission when you use my code, and I'll put that in the link. But it's called Stampin Storage, and I put mine in here, and then I can reuse these pieces for other things. So when I cut this out, I put all the extra pieces that have the sticky back in one of these so that I can use them at a later time. And then I label it as to what it is. But what you would do is you would cut off some of this here. You would place your die, the word die, which is this one here, on this, and then you would run it through your Big Shot. If you have a Big Shot, you can run it through the Big Shot. Your die cutting machine, this one here is called the Stampin Cut and Emboss machine. And I would run it through here, and what it will do is it will cut this out, okay? So now I already have the sticky on the back, so I don't have to mess with the glue. So this is a time saver. It is a mess saver by using these adhesive sheets, okay? So that is a tip for you. This here is the background, and it cuts out this piece here. Okay, so we are going to layer. I'm actually going to put this down so you can see a little bit easier. But you just peel this off, and now it becomes a sticker, which is so much easier than trying to roll glue dots up or trying to put glue on here. And let me bring it to me a little closer so I can see what I'm doing. And you're just going to stick this on here. So what it does is it creates an outline, a white outline. Okay, let me get it. Yeah, sometimes I can't talk and do things at the same time. Are you guys like that? Okay. So we wanted to have a white border. Now, you know, I could do it perfectly off camera, but, you know, that's just how it is, right? You go live and nothing works right. Okay, here we go. Okay, and you're just going to line these up gently so that you don't tear them apart. I've done this 100 times, and you would think the more you do it, the easier it gets. But you just have to take your time. And I'm sure you can do it better when you are taking your time and you're not trying to do it on live on camera. Right? There we go. Okay. And there it is there. So that was so easy. So much easier than the whole glue thing, right? Okay, so I'm going to put my dies back onto the magnet. And then I am going to get the hello. Here's the hello. I'm going to let it rest for a second because I peeled it off. This is a 7/16 of an inch piece of paper, and it doesn't matter how long. Okay, I'm going to get a block, and they're to my right. And then I am going to pick it up, get my garden green, and tap. Now these are the foam. This is an old style case. but it still has the same foam as the other ones. These are our newer ones. They've been out for quite some time, but I just have not replaced these because they're working. So I'm going to use what I have, but this is the new style. It opens this similar, it opens like a compact, just like this one does. But we're going to use this one here, and I am just going to stamp hello in the center, and I'm going to bring it a little bit closer to me so I can see what I'm doing. I apologize for my head in the way. I'm going to try and get this in the center as close as we can. Let's try it again. Try not to get my head in your way. I think I like that one better. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my scissors. You can do paper snips, you can do whatever scissors you have handy. You can also use your cutter. And I'm just going to snip these off here to make it shorter. Okay, there is that. And then we are going to put some dimensionals on the back here. I am going to use the smaller ones. I talked about this in the other video where I just colored on my dimensionals with a Stampin' Blend. Okay. And this is an alcohol marker, just so that it does not rub off. A regular marker will rub off, but I just colored it so that I could see where they are, because it does come white, and it's harder to see once you get it on there if you've taken the paper off and exposed the sticky. So I learned that from another demonstrator. I don't remember who. I watch a lot of demonstrators. I have a lot of demonstrators that I keep in contact with. And I'm just going to put these on here. And I think the mini ones work really well because you can hardly see them. I'm going to put one here. See if we can see it. I think it's okay. And then it's always good to use these edges. And I'm just going to snip like a long one to put on the Y. I'm just going to put it right there. Okay, so then I'm going to pick off these little papers. This is the Take Your Pick tool. I keep calling it U-Pick tool, but it's Take Your Pick tool. And I'm just going to pull those little papers off. This one is just stuck. Pull the papers off. And then I am going to just put this across the bottom like this. Let's see, maybe like that. And then my hello, I am going to use two big ones. And you shouldn't be able to see those. I really probably only needed one, but I like things to stick. I don't like things to fall apart. And then we're just going to put the hello right here. Let's see, I think right there. And our card is done. Now you're going to do the inside, and this is my other sample. And this is what I did on the inside. Okay. So this is just a 4 by 5 1/4 sheet of white. And then I just stamped this one here. This is Petunia Pop. And this is, again, the Garden Green. And then You Make Me Smile is part of this stamp set. Ooh, is part of this stamp set right here. So this is why you don't have an ink pad open. I can't tell you how many times that happens. It happens to the best of us. I've been doing this for 27 years, and it still happens to me. And I still put my card in it. So, rule of thumb, close up your pads. Okay, so here are the two cards. This one is the inside. So if you get this card, it's a special card, right? so, so there it is. Pretty easy. And you can mix up the paper. The paper is just absolutely beautiful. Let me see if I have it. Florals and Bloom. Here is the paper. I want to show you this paper. These are the things that I get from Stampin' Storage. I will put the link in the description below, but I want to show you some of this paper. So this is the paper that we just used. This is the same paper, but I cut out some flowers, and I think that's on the next one, maybe. And then look at this paper. This is just gorgeous. Here's the back side to that one. There's 2 sheets of each paper. The paper is just stunning. And you have to remember too that this is watercolored by our design team, our artists, and it's just amazing to watch them. I do post some behind the scenes on my FB page. But aren't these amazing? Okay, so that is the one card. And then we're going to start with the next card. So hold on for just a second.